Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called You Really Got Me by the Kinks. I'm kind of working off a live version because it sounded more in tune to me. But we kind of start off with kind of that intro lick, actually, where you could kind of take the first fret on the low E string, and then go to third fret on the low E string, and then go back to first fret on the low E, and then back to third fret on the low E string. So you're playing at F, G, G, F, G, F, G, G, F, G, F, G, G, F, G. And if you wanted to make that a little bit thicker, you could use some things called power chords. And you'd start off on an F5 power chord where you do the first finger on the low E string on the first fret, third finger on the A string on the third fret, and if you strum the E and the A string together, that sounds an F5 power chord. And then for the G note, you could kind of take that shape and slide it over 2 frets, and now that's a G5 power chord. You got first finger on the low E third finger on the A string on the fifth. And that sounds really, really powerful. So you may want to kind of back that lick up with kind of that power chord slide idea. And through that intro, it's all around kind of that G note, though. And if you wanted to back it up with a chord, you could back it up with a G major chord. We play G major. First finger goes the A string on the second fret, second finger on the low E string on the third fret, and third finger on the high E on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. So you could kind of just back it up with just kind of that G with downs. It could be kind of a cool like da 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 da, kind of working the lick that way. Or a lot of times with a song like this, especially to support my voice, I like using something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So we took the G and just tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. So that might kind of work for the intro. And then from there we go into our main verse idea, and we end up doing that main lick 8 times through the verse chorus. And then from there, then we're going to take that idea of kind of the F, G, G, F, G, and we end up moving it from there and kind of going from the third fret on the low E string to the fifth fret on the low E string, and kind of doing a G to an A note. And you could kind of back that up with power chords too, kind of that G5. And if you slide that over 2 frets to the 5th and the 7th fret, that sounds an A5 power chord. So you may want to kind of think about using the power chords to kind of make that really thick. And the chord that would kind of back up that leg would be an A major chord. And we play A major. First finger goes the D on the 2nd fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, and the third finger on the B string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. So on that part, you may want to kind of just, if you're thinking about just doing just chords through it, that would be the chord to kind of gravitate to on that lick. And then from there, then we kind of take that idea of kind of that G, A, G, A, and then we shift it by string. So we go to the A string on the 3rd fret, and then kind of work that to the 5th fret on the A string. It's kind of a C to a D note idea. So going C, D, D, C, D, or 3, 5, 5, 3, 5, and you can back that up with power chords. And you have a C5 power chord with the first finger on the A string 3rd, third finger on the D string on the 5th, and kind of strum the A and the D strings together for a C5. And if you take that shape and slide it over 2 frets, then that makes a D5 power chord. So now I got 5th fret on the A, 7th fret on the D. So you can kind of back that lick up with kind of that D lick, and we end up doing that D lick 6 times. And at the very end, and the chord that would back up that lick would be a D major chord. When you play D major, first finger goes to the G on the 2nd fret, second finger on the high E 2nd fret, third finger on the B string on the 2nd fret. So you could kind of ride that out on just kind of that D major through that lick. And then we almost hit a kind of a stop time on the C5, kind of just that kind of a C5 at the end. And you may want to back that up with a C chord if you're kind of thinking of backing that up with chords. And then when you play C major, first finger goes to the B on the 1st fret, second finger on the D string 2nd fret, and third finger on the A string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. So through that whole verse chorus, if you're kind of digging on the power chord licks, you'd have kind of that F, G, G, F, G, and we'd end up doing that 8 times. So 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7, 8, and we go to our A idea of kind of that G to A. We end up doing that 4 times, so 3 times, 4 times, and then we go to our D idea, and we do that 6 times, 2, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. 6 times. And then we end up with our C is kind of our stop time. So you could kind of work it with just the power chords. Or if you wanted to kind of strum through that, we could do the down, down, up, or the downs and have kind of the G, G, G. Something else I think about adding to the song though is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down, especially if you're just doing just the chords, you could add in a bass note for the chord on the first down of the down, down, up, down. So on the G you'd have a low E for the bass, on the A you'd have the A for the bass, on the D you'd have the D for the bass, and on the C you'd have the A for the bass. So we try that next verse chorus with kind of a bass down, up, down. We'd have G with low E bass, G with low E bass, G with low E bass. Then we'd be going into a solo part, and through that solo actually it's all just kind of a big vamp on that G, kind of like our intro. And you may want to kind of try just kind of bringing that lick, and actually that kind of comes back to kind of cue the first chorus comes back in. Or you could just vamp on the G chord and you work kind of those downs, or you can do the down, down, up, or you can do the bass down, up. And from there, then we'll be going back into our verse. So what you may want to do actually, you could take all these ideas and kind of figure out a way that works for you. Or you can alternate between the licks and the chords, give you kind of a cool idea. So you want to kind of play around with it and see what you want to say with it too. Part of me really wants to go back to the G. But that's the basics of how you can strum through You Really Got Me by the Kinks. So good luck!